In places like the US and Australia, fortifying bread flour and margarine is required by law. And companies often decide to add vitamins, mostly from the B family. The B vitamins are sometimes called the pep vitamins. They help our bodies produce energy and assist in cell development. Now, they're all water-soluble, like vitamin C, which means our bodies don't store them, so we have to replenish them often. Their discovery and synthesis took over 50 years and led to 6 Nobel Prizes. One of the vitamins added to bread is B9, better known as folate. So why is it being added to my bread? At 29, Kim Robbins is an international wheelchair basketball star. He tours the world, playing professionally. His body and entire life has been shaped by the power of folate.
Kim was born with a hemangioma on his back, in the middle of his shoulder blades. It was a lesion which looked a bit like a red birthmark. We were assured at birth that everything was okay. And it wasn't until he was 6 months when flags started to be raised that he wasn't perhaps meeting all of his milestones.
After months of tests, Kim was diagnosed with a neural tube defect, effectively a hole in his spinal column, which caused permanent damage.
Part of my disability is that I have chronic back pain, and that's in my lower back. So I get pain maybe 200, 250 times a day. It's kind of like a back spasm. My brain's fully functioning. I guess it affects my leg function to some extent. So I can walk, not super well, but I can walk a little bit.
Neural tube defects like Kim's can be caused by the lack of folate, long before birth.
If you eat folate, it's the best kind of diet because it's actually found richly in leafy green vegetables. It's found in things like asparagus, it's found in strawberries, it's found in whole grains. So if you're eating fruit and vegetables, you're quite likely that you will have a diet rich in folate. Folate is very important for both DNA and RNA repair, but also for the rapid development and multiplication of cells, which is what's happening in the fetus. So it's essential for that.
Professor Fiona Stanley led the Australian arm of an international children's study that showed lack of folate in a mother's diet before she was pregnant could cause major defects in utero.
Well, even before a woman knows that she's pregnant, the fetus is starting to form all its major organs. And one of the earliest, by perhaps the 7th week, is the neural tube, which starts as an open little trough and then starts to zipper up, and it zips up and down.
I think of it like a zipper going down, and as each link forms together, that's part of the neural tube forming, and if it misses one link, that's where the neural tube defect would be. Mine is between T2 and T6, which is quite high up, and so my spinal cord's a little bit withered, so some messages get through and some messages don't.
By the time a woman knows she's pregnant, it can be too late. So scientists sought a way to get a form of folate into a food that everyone might eat.
There were lots of debates about what staple food should be fortified. And of course, the one that was suggested was flour, bread-making flour, because bread seemed to be such a ubiquitous food.
In 2009, Australian bread was fortified with folic acid, synthetic folate. It must be added to all wheat flour for bread making. It's the same in the US, Canada, and the UK. Organic or traditional breads are exempt.
I got a prosciutto.
That's not really
Folic acid supplements are also recommended for women planning to become pregnant.
I had no idea about folate before I fell pregnant. I didn't even know about neural tube defects. How would it have changed things if I had have had folate in the early stages? That would have been a huge difference. Maybe Kim wouldn't be like this.
I won't know.
I can't change what's happened. It's happened, and I can't blame myself for that.
With folic acid fortification and supplementation, the rate of neural tube defects in Australia has halved.
I think it's pretty cool doing something that I love. A lot of people ask me, if you could, would you prefer not to be in a wheelchair? And I always say no, because maybe I never would have done all the things that I've done, and I'm always fairly satisfied with where I am and where I'm going.